Hello there. The gnome is dancing on the screen.
Oh,
What's going on?
just having the known practice. It's draft week. He's getting a terrible towel, hoping we don't have a terrible draft here in
Oh,
Pittsburgh. So
uh, he's rooting for gnome Super Bowl this year. Is that where we're going with that one? Is that
oh,
it?
we've had gnome Super Bowls for a while. We're hoping to have a Super Bowl this year.
Preaching to the choir. Preaching to the choir. Don't even go there. Don't even go there. I know we got. Yeah, it's crazy. Life in Pennsylvania. It's going to take center stage. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania here Thursday night. Rocking and rolling. Listen, I did a great job. I cut some savings and I decided to get rid of some things on our cable package. And yeah, ESPN and sports went. So I'm going to be rocking the YouTube and looking for the different.
Oh,
Fortunately, McAfee is going to be live on Thursday night, but
it's
yeah. So
it's on ABC, so it's on broadcast television.
all right. So I'll be able to get it there. But yeah, so we got the draft coming up. It's going to be interesting. The Dolphins have a big hole of money that they're in deficit. So we'll see what they get to do. And
Yeah.
how are the Steelers? What's the talk around Steel City?
The quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, keeps pushing back when he's going to sign, if he's going to sign. And
Right.
word on the street is, he's going to sign. He just doesn't want to go to any of the voluntary stuff or obligatory stuff till he has to actually show up. The quarterback who's never taken a snap in a preseason game or regular season game is now QB1 on Mondays. The quarterback who saved our season a few years is now quarterback 2.
Yeah.
So we will see what's going on. But
Yeah.
they were talking about the number of people that are supposed to be in Pittsburgh, and it was scaring people off. So now they're saying that's 750,000 people is over 3 days. It's like 3 St. Patrick's Day parade days in a row. So don't be scared off. Come in because they're afraid people aren't going to show up, and it'll be a ghost town for the draft, and we'll look bad on TV. So we'll see. But now they're talking. The talk about what we're doing is all over the place.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just hoping we get good players.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, as far as the talk about the QB, I feel like there's been a lot of talk about the time frame, but never from him.
Yeah.
So it's like, but so speaking of Pittsburgh, speaking of sports, rarely can I pop something on the screen here that the Flyers are up 2-0 in the playoffs, and won last night 3-0. So I don't know. It's not often I can gloat about the Flyers and what they're doing, but okay, yeah, Flyers Penguins. I don't know, a little bit of a battle.
Well, let me check something here on maps. Let's see.
We're trying to figure out.
York, PA.
Yeah. Listen, I grew up in Allentown, so it's closer to Philadelphia. I'm just throwing it out there. I didn't grow up in York. I didn't grow up in York, Pennsylvania.
York, PA is not in Philadelphia. I know you're a science and math teacher. I do geography and history. It's you're as close as to Washington.
Honestly,
the Capitals aren't in the playoffs, so I can direct you that way.
Most York people go for the Capitals, but listen, I didn't grow up. I went to more Flyers games than anything else. So yep. But listen, I don't talk about them a lot because the amount of misery they've caused me over the years of blowing playoff games. Yeah, so it's crazy. But yeah, I was shocked to see it. I'm like, I didn't realize they were playing each other, Penguins and Flyers. I'm like, and then I heard maybe that it was they were playing last night. I didn't see the game or anything. And last minute, I'm like, I wonder if, and I'm like, oh man, I got to bring this up because that is a rarity that the Flyers are up 2-0. But I mean, it's the Penguins, so who knows?
It's been rough going. But they said the Stars aren't playing well for Philly, but they're just a great team effort. But 2 of their coaches are former Penguins coaches, and Rick Tocchet, and that's the big hubbub on Pittsburgh radio. He's he's bleeding black and orange, but his cups came in black and gold because he was a Penguin when he got his Stanley Cups. And he was a coach for the Pens, so his black and gold runs deep. So it's hard because he was a great Penguin.
Yeah.
I think if I'm not mistaken, I think he did play for Philadelphia before that because it was one of those guys when he played for Philly, everyone hated him because he was so good. Then he came to Pittsburgh and we're like, yes. It'd be like as much as I hate to say it, but like if Ray Lewis would have come to Pittsburgh,
right? Yeah, you would have loved him. Sure.
evil, kind of like how Dan Marino came from Pittsburgh and went to Miami and
right
brought the organization to the brink of greatness. You know,
yeah. Took him to the show twice, and that's it.
Yeah,
they didn't finish it, but yeah, no, yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, you got the sports stuff going. You got, dude. I know, some of our fans knew it was going to be a tight crunch. They're like, oh, well, if you're doing it by yourself, there's not going to be weather talk. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Pennsylvania weather right now is insane. You got to talk about the weather. We're in you're like in t-shirts and shorts on Saturday. Melting. I'm mowing the grass last week. Got a great sweat on working out at like 90-degree weather. To like from AC to do we tap the heat on? Holy moly, it's kind of chilly in here. Like,
yeah.
Did you guys have snow yesterday?
We didn't have snow. It was just a little bit east of us had snow. We missed it. But last night I was outside covering the flowering bushes because we had the deep freeze. But it's like I don't know. I'm almost speechless, which is hard to do, and my hands don't know what to do. It's shorts, sweating. Next thing you know, it's cold. Like I don't know if it was this past weekend or 2 weekends ago. Had to turn the AC on and knock the humidity out of the house, and then it got kept the furnace off the next day. Then I woke up Monday and I'm like, I'm kind of cold, and I forgot to turn the furnace on because it dropped down into like the 30s. Last night and this morning it was in the 20s. Now it's back up to almost 70.
It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just bouncing all over the place. Yep. Throwing the kids off. And then, I'm walking the dog the other day and it was flurrying. I'm like, this is odd. It's like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, this is messed up. Our
head of maintenance sent out sorry guys, we're doing our best email because we have like this boiler system, chiller system that works between the elementary and the high school, connected by like a semi-tunnel / semi-exposed building. And I was like, with the weather being what it was, we turned the chiller on for you guys. Then it got cold, so we're turning the heat back on. Unfortunately, it takes several days for the water to cool down so we can turn the chillers back on. He said, so we may not be able to adjust in time for when the temperature goes up at the end of the week. But then again, it's dropping again for next week. So they're like, we're doing our best.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. It's the averaging out of a building and all that jazz. And we've had that. And I was I was talking with my wife last night because I said, they're expecting 5 feet of snow in Alaska between yesterday and Monday coming up. So they're still getting shellacked over there. And, so there's always that, what would life be like living in Alaska dealing with all that? But, but with that deep freezing stuff, I'm kind of ready for a little bit of the warmer temperatures. Not going to lie.
I mean, we got our pool years ago when we got our pool, it was the end of April. So that was our goal, was to always open it by the end of April. And last year with the rain and everything, that didn't happen. This year with the temperature up and down, there's no sense opening it up because all I'm going to do is turn the heat on and I'm not going to use it. So it's like, wait. But even like, Wisconsin, the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, in upstate New York and New England, they were getting thumped with snow, big time. This past week, and it's just like because I guess there's flood watches. We had an interesting thing with all the rain we got 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. They're building a turnpike bridge over the Beaver River, so they have barges to put the cranes. They're building the towers and everything for the bridges across the valley. And 2 of the bridges broke free and shot down the river. They got hung up on the dams down there. There's a couple sets of dams. It's not the navigation's for like pleasure boats in the one area. In the other area, you can almost walk across in the summer, unless it's like a flood area, so people fish there and stuff. But they have pictures of these barges hung up on the dams, and they're like, we can't get to them because the water's too high. So it's just been, the weather's just been goofy. All the rain, the wind, the downpours, driving back and forth. I've been doing a lot of driving to Pittsburgh, and either my truck or in my wife's Rogue, getting smacked around on the highway with the wind gusts and stuff. It's just, it's out there. Yeah, I'm not used to that. It used to be like a once a year kind of rain, once every 2 years kind of rain. Now it's like once every 2 weeks, once a week.
Yeah, and now it's like, yeah, and then on top of the rain, the sun, and the cold, all the different things. But like, I'm at the point where I'm almost like mowing my grass twice a week. It's ridiculous. So it's grown like gangbusters. But yeah, it's wild. And then on top of that, a lot of schools kicked off. Today was like for a lot of schools, it was the first day of testing, and yeah, half the state was like crippled. So I'm assuming it's just the servers like of the whole state going live online, and we were trying to kick things off at like 9 o'clock to get kids started, get them in, and we're having connection issues like crazy. Like it's Wi-Fi, it's connecting to DRC. So our school ended up canceling, shutting it down, and a lot of other schools in our area shut it down. And across the state, it was kind of a mixed bag. But supposedly, I saw an article like as of like right around between 9:40, 10 o'clock in the morning, they got everything working again. But I'm like, yeah, they say working again, but I mean, we took 2,000 kids offline. And all the other schools that went offline. So it's like, oof. So, yeah, so it's been, you got the weather that's crazy, just, stuff like that that's crazy. But gosh, but through it all, we're here.
Yeah.
And so we always take Monday off of testing. So today's a Tuesday, right? So Tuesday, it feels like it's February, but I believe it's March.
It's actually April.
It is April. See, so March is done. April's kicked in, and
February was this morning. March was probably about 9 o'clock. Right now we're pushing mid-April because it's 60. We almost hit. I think by tomorrow we're going to be in May. So with the temperature here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Well, with all the chaos and all the crazy, I do think it's the third Tuesday in April.
That it is.
Even though it feels like February. And I think it's time for
the PAECT Pod.
Let's roll it. Welcome to the PAECT Pod, a show for educators by educators. PAECT is a 100% volunteer-run organization. My name is Eric Verno, and I'm the past president of PAECT. And with me, as always, is my co-host,
Dom Salvucci, and I'm the president of PAECT.
That he is. And today we are on episode 101, Remake Learning in PA. Definitely a really cool topic for us to talk about. A lot of different things that are going on, not just crashing servers, but the positives to talk about, the things that are going on across the state, Yeah, so a lot of good stuff going.
Not just because we had to bring in special guests for this one. That's hence the glasses. But Depeche Mode, their 101 album, double disc set.
Oh, man. Okay.
Great album. Sure. My wedding song was on that album, so we had to have a special episode for this. So,
okay.
We're good to go.
You're being sneaky. Well, listen,
we're bringing in big guns.
For the record, I was sneaky last time because you never caught the fact that the wallpaper, our thumbnail wallpaper on YouTube and stuff was a AI generated version of Bloomsburg University, the Bloomsburg University and Carver Hall especially. So you didn't catch on that. We didn't have the slippery rock debate, and it was all good.
I considered it a throwback episode with the past names. I thought we might go back to PAECT Radio, the throwback.
There you go. Well, listen, I did meet. Good.
I did meet a nurse today. I was at a facility, and she was like, I'm from Bloomsburg, and I'm like, you mean Commonwealth University? Oh, that's a big debate back there. Yeah, people are saying it's Bloomsburg. This is a good friend of mine. He gets upset.
So a helpful nurse from Bloomsburg, you're welcome. Let's cue Howie. Yeah, but listen, so I got to go back to the old homestead, got to go check it out, with my daughter graduated now. I don't have too many visits to Bloom, but went back for the TERS conference. So got to go, roam the hallowed grounds of Bloomsburg University and, and check out the TERS conference. And man, there was some dynamite presentations. We had PhD students from Mansfield, from Lock Haven, from Bloomsburg. We had professors from Edinburgh, which is Penn West. We had, one was from the Edinburgh campus, a gentleman who zoomed in, really amazing criminal justice professor from Cal. So yes, there was a lot of really great sessions going, and there was AI talk. There was talk about things that are happening in the classroom, and I got to tell you, there was even a an amazing session talking about OneNote class notebook. So, I mean, I didn't, there were no MacBook or Mac Neo or any kind of Mac centric stuff. There was a little bit of some Microsoft thrown in, but Lynn Hummel did a great job. And I know, that was something that you were looking forward to being at, because this is my third TERS to be at. It's the 9th one they've had, skipped 1 year with the shutdown. So it's the 10th year they've been doing it. But you had an awesome Saturday in and of it yourself. You got to go visit the Rock.
Slippery Rock. Yep.
Yeah.
Slippery Rock University, SRU. They had it, their first Ed Camp SRU. It was great. They had a lot of good sessions. I got to go in, Lorraine Schaefer, PACT member. And she helped set up. They had a playground. We were in the playground doing all kinds of things. They ran a competition with the popsicle stick type things. Who could get it? Got cutthroat. It went almost up to the ceiling. People were standing on tables. They had all kinds of different things. There was pre-service teachers, student teachers. Although a couple, I'm not going to name names, but those two ladies know who they are. Taking prizes from the college kids at the auctions. We're not going to name names, but they know. They scurried out as the college kids were crying because they weren't getting their hands on the new Ozobots and some of the other equipment there.
Yeah,
but
college kids look back and they're like, "This is teachers in the classroom," and there's a competitive spirit about. Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah,
and Dr. Festich up there and the other members of Super Rock staff ran a good Ed Camp. The kids did a great. That's one of our student chapters. They did a great job. The students that were presenting at the end and talking did a fantastic job. So it was a great time. They're looking forward to continuing that. So
that's amazing. So that's awesome. So a lot of great stuff happened in this past weekend, and a lot of great stuff across the Commonwealth, across the state, and So, but I will say, on my visit, on the way out, I popped into the bookstore, and 3/4 of it is Bloomsburg gear. 1/4 has some Commonwealth stuff. But
so did you update your wardrobe?
I didn't wear it tonight, but I did get a new gray, Bloomsburg. But I was asking them because they love the Carhartt, and they had a Carhartt thing, and they said, we stopped carrying it, and I was really bummed because I really was hoping my daughter during her time there would buy one of these sweatshirts for Dad, but that didn't happen. But next show I'll make sure I have my Bloomsburg sweatshirt on for you. But we talked about it in an awesome show. We're going to be talking about Remake learning, and we are very I think we're very foundational. We're very grounded in our concept of when we have an amazing topic and we need to have intellectual conversation, we're all about calling in the left-handers. We're calling in the relievers, and we need to bring the specialists in to make this podcast really sing. What do you think?
Sounds good. But before we get there, I do want to bring up Mrs. Krenzer. It was terrible. Kids were so stressed. And not to mention, but a couple of the teachers that one year, they walked up to the students, offered out a handkerchief or Kleenex, and then pulled it back, laughed, and walked away with the tech. But I don't want to go there because it was kind of traumatic. Is she talking about Slippery Rock, or is she talking about PSSAs today? Who knows? I don't know which one she's talking about. I'm thinking about the Slippery Rock kids not getting any tech, but she might have been talking about the PSSA.
Her sixth grade math kids could have been going through the ringer today. Who knows? But anyway, so we've got some amazing guests on the lineup. So I think we're ready to kind of kick it off and get into some great conversation. What do you think?
Sounds good.
All right, here we go. All right, let's shuffle the decks here. We're going to make sure that the important people are in the important positions.
Yes.
So, all right. So we're going to be kicking off and intro. Let's make sure our little corner shot that's going to be on Instagram and all that jazz. We'll make sure we're in the square. All right, but we have two amazing guests with us. We've even got Sport in the Gear there. Looks like we've got Kelsey. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Oh, you're muted, Kelsey.
We got Turner. Yeah, we got to double check her volume. She was coming off of, got in here a little late, so we didn't get the sound check ahead of time.
After you introduce yourself, tell us why you were late, because it's a great thing. Oh,
right.
still.
Nope, still can't hear you. Got to check that microphone. Yeah, we'll still pause it.
Well, let's go over to Carrie while Kelsey's working on her microphone.
There we go. All right, Carrie, could you introduce yourself? Let us give us your details, your information from where do you hail?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Well, it's good to see you all again. So thanks for having us back this year to talk about Remake Learning Days. So I'm Carrie Kazicki. I'm a project manager for Remake Learning Days across Pennsylvania. I work with partners like yourselves and Kelsey across the state to support over 800 events this year, with 422 of them being career ready. So that's in partnership with the Pennsylvania Department of Ed. So my main focus this year is to help our nearly 300 ambassadors spread the word about Remake Learning Days, of which, Dom, you are one of our ambassadors. So I might ask you some questions about that. And it's such a fun mission to be a part of, and I'm happy to be back this year. And just for people who aren't sure what career ready means, that's Remake Learning Days events that integrate career readiness and employability skills, or provide exposure to different career paths. So it's quite fun, actually, when you attend these events to see it all take place. So thanks for having me again.
Oh, our pleasure.
And we got to mention, she's a two-peater. This is second time on the pod, so she's building up that list. All right. Awesome stuff. All right, Kelsey, let's check it now. Can we hear you now? Nah, still can't hear you. So she's just building the anticipation. She just wants to, she wants us to play like a walkout song, like they do for the baseball games and stuff. Now we didn't cue it up. We'll get there.
Yeah. But yeah, with going in with the Remake Learning, the organization, the Remake Learning Days are phenomenal. Whenever I became a regional director, I've heard of them beforehand. Then when I became a regional director for the Southwest region, I became more involved with Remake Learning and the Remake Learning Days, and they're just a plethora of events around the region. And being in Western Pennsylvania, that's where things kind of started and have spread quickly, not just through the state but worldwide.
Yeah. Let me add a little bit of flavor to that, if I may. So if you think, you keep hearing maybe Remake Learning and then Remake Learning Days, so there is a little bit of a difference, and I might just share the sort of genesis of that. But when you're thinking Remake Learning Days, think basically a giant statewide invitation for families to explore hands-on learning together. So robotics, art, music, outdoor adventures, all the fun stuff that kids love, and the parents and caregivers and adults kind of just get to tag along and experience it at the same time. So it's really, really cool. It's a chance to try something new, get curious, maybe hone in on a topic that you're always wanting to dive into, or you've already started to diving into, and just learn in different ways that are playful and exciting. But when we talk about Remake Learning, that was one of the ecosystems that was born out of the Pittsburgh area. So it actually started back in 2007, when a group of education professionals and community members, they would get together for pancake lunches or breakfast and just talk about what learning and education meant. And then if we think about the shift in learning in 2007, the iPhone came out, right? So now we're entering the digital space, and we've got all this education right in our pocket, and even more so now. So then they started asking the question, well, okay, what does learning look like now? And who else needs to be at the table in the education process for kids? And so that was, what happens if community members, partners, families, caregivers came together? And that's how Remake Learning Days was born. So it was an extension of that kind of pancake breakfast out in Pittsburgh, which is why you'll see many events are clustered in the western part of the state, because they've had such a longevity of that starting out there. But now it's made its way east to where I am. I'm on the eastern part of the state, and so it's really, really brilliant to kind of see it. It's the 10th anniversary year this year, so we've officially made it past the 10-year mark. So yeah, right, Kelsey, you should give a little shout out. So, Kelsey, I don't know if there's anything you want to add. Might be
I think we
Mike.
got her live now. Looks like her
All
mic's
right,
working.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Woo-hoo, there she
Awesome.
is. Yeah,
Oh my, that was
that's
that
fun.
was some
It's all good.
perseverance, that's for sure. Thanks, guys. Thanks for inviting me again to the PAECT podcast. I'll do my intro.
Yeah.
I'm Kelsey Wilcox Boyles, and I have the awesome privilege to be a Remake Learning Days regional lead. My day job, I work at an IU. I work at Riverview IU6 in Clarion, Pennsylvania. And in my role as a STEM point of contact for my IU, I would be supporting Remake Learning Days anyways. All of the IUs across the state do support Remake in some way. And like I said, you get to be elevated there and be that Northwest PA regional lead. So that's one reason why I'm here. I am a PAECT member. I'm also on the leadership team, the assistant regional director for Northwest region. So appreciate you always inviting us for this annual kickoff as we head into our joyful learning in May with Remake Learning Days.
We love having you on, and you guys make us look so much smarter because you guys bring the energy, you bring the knowledge, you bring the events. We appreciate it. And you actually had a reason for being a little bit late today. You were here early, but then you had to step out. What was going on?
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Well, I'm actually sitting at the public library here in Clarion, and I just was in the borough meeting. So the mayor of Clarion presented a proclamation for Remake Learning Days. And so myself and one of our teacher ambassadors and PACT member, Jessica Carbaugh, was here to present that proclamation or to receive the proclamation.
That's awesome. Yeah, very cool. So we got like kind of royalty here. So I guess that's
yes.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Very good. All right. So now, yeah. So now, what? How did Kelsey get connected with Remake Learning? How did that get going?
Well, like Carrie said, it did originate in Pittsburgh, which is about an hour and a half from where I live and work in Clarion County. Saw the great things happening with the network itself. Also saw this awesome events, these open house, hands-on learning events, and asked a couple people and said, hey, how can we get in? Like, what do we have to do? Can we do that too? Can we be a region? And the Northwest region has been on the Remake Learning Day calendar for 6 years now. But really the driving force was all these pockets of innovation were happening. They were already happening in our public libraries. They were already happening at our local museums, in our schools, of course. And I loved that Remake Learning Days where it's like, this 1 month, we're going to spotlight that and we're going to highlight all these, maybe even sometimes hidden gems from within your own community. So that's what really piqued my interest and something that I try every year to add a couple more to the event calendar that that sparks that curiosity and that wonder, and that these community members are doing great things, and we can share that in May, and then hopefully families can continue that learning into the summer or throughout the year as they partner with these new organizations that they didn't know were right in their own backyard.
Yeah, and that's the nice thing about the Remake Learning Days is, there's so many activities around and they're all over the place. If let me pull up the website here. If I grab this, give me a second. Because I know in the past we've shown this, but you never know who has not seen the past episodes. But we go to, it's right here, Remake Learning Days. So let me pull it up on this screen, remakelearningdays.org. And you can search for events by keyword, find events, submit an event, find your region. You have the about Remake Learning Days, but you can find all the different regions. Like you guys said, it started in Pennsylvania, but it goes international. So you find that information here. But there's so many events. It's a great time to check things out. I know I've gone to like different things in different regions, a lot of PACT members put on things. They're not PACT events, they're Remake Learning Day events, but most of them are free. That's the beauty of it. They're family friendly. That's the goal. As Carrie said earlier, it's to get the families involved. It's not just it's not teachers can go, but it's not for the teachers. It's for the families.
I'm going to interject, Dom, and I'm going to challenge you a little bit. I think it is for the teachers and parents. There are events that are adults only. There are events that are professional development for educators.
That's true. I was going the
0 to 99.
Yes. I was going the iCarly route. It's for the children.
And you mentioned the support and the championing, I don't know if that's a word, of PACT members. Like, there are so many PACT members across the state that are event hosts, or they're doing Discover Ed, which is the design challenge that kicks off Remake Learning Days in their classrooms. Or there are parent-teacher ambassadors. And it's so exciting to see that and them championing this work and being enthusiastic and spreading the joy.
Yeah. And a lot of they're hands-on events, a lot of them, some are learning, but there's a lot of hands-on. I know last year, the Elwood City event, it was cross curriculum. They had art, they had reading, they had phys ed, they had chorus, they had all kinds of coding mixed in. It was fantastic. I went to Beaver, PA. They had a maker space. They were showcasing. People got to make stuff. These are great events, and you get to see what's going on in the schools and in the communities. So I'm looking forward to this year. So going back to our questions, we went off a little off script, but that's okay.
It's bread and butter.
Yeah. So that's how you got involved. I'm going to check here because you kind of touched on the community partners. How do you become a community partner for people that are not sure how to do that?
It's not too late to host an event for this year, even though the festival is starting in just a couple weeks, or to spark some inspiration for next year as well. We work hard in December, January, February, finding these quality event hosts and telling them about the opportunity. There's funding available until there's not. But at that time, December through February, there is funding available to do some materials, resources, if there's any like rental fees, things like that, giveaways, prizes. And it's so open-ended. Like I mentioned to you, Dom, there's these professional development ones, adult only, kids. The event host at their public library, and they wanted to do a summer reading kickoff, and their theme for this year is dinosaurs, because that's true that all of that is happening this summer. They can say, okay, our theme is going to be dinosaurs. Our hands-on learning are going to be some sensory bins, maybe a story, some kind of hands-on activity during that. So we're hitting on the art theme, but it could be another event host, a school that is focusing on technology or outdoor learning. Maker, art, science. So there's 6 different themes, and then they choose their audience, they choose their theme, they choose the time and the date and how long, and get some funding to host a really neat quality event for families in their area.
So I'll let either of you answer this. I think I already know the question. In fact, I know the answer. I don't know the question, but I know the answer. How things backwards all the time. If someone is thinking of hosting an event, but they're a little bit apprehensive because they don't know if they know how to do it properly, is there support for someone like that who might want to do this but isn't sure that they're ready for it?
Absolutely. That's where the regional leads come in. Like I am one for the Northwest region. It's where Carrie and Cindy and Dory and Yuling come in, the Remake Learning Days team. Some of my favorite conversations are when someone says, I want to host an event, like I'm in, However, and we have this brainstorm session and we talk and listen and share, and by the end of it, it might not be the final draft and what even happens, but it's a great conversation to just continue to spark that curiosity, even in adults that are planning the events, right?
Yeah.
Plus, of course, then when the event happens and these families are coming through the door and learning alongside their kids too.
Yeah. Well, the SRU Ed Camp at SRU was a Remake Learning Days event. It was a little bit early, but that was good. Last year I saw Yuling. Yuling was on the show. I think the first year we had you guys on, either first or second year. I saw her at the Beaver event last year. I didn't get a chance to talk to her. I was in the middle of building something and I was struggling a bit. So the high school students that were there were helping me with stuff. So I was kind of tangled up with that and I didn't get a chance to talk to her very, very long. But you know, she was there. It's great seeing people floating around. They're open to everybody for the most part. There are some events that might be during school hours, but a lot of the events when you go on the website, they're open to the public as long as it's not during school hours in a school building.
Yeah, that's the wonderful thing. I'd like to add on a little bit to what Kelsey was saying about somebody who might want to be an event host, or if, you know, they're apprehensive about it and not sure how to do it. So it isn't too late. And in fact, we have a lot of event hosts who are typically already having some sort of event at their facility in May already. So you don't have to create something new for it to be a Remake Learning Days event. You might have something that you're already planning that's already on the calendar. Put it on the Remake Learning Days website. You'll get other people to attend who maybe weren't aware that you were hosting that thing. You'll get other people who want to try something new. So, you know, if you've got things already in place, just add them to the Remake Learning Days website. We would love to be able to help showcase your event. So it's quite easy in that way to get started. And Kelsey was mentioning the Remake Learning Days regional leads. So there's 9 of them across the state. And then there's, other people like myself and other Remake Learning Days team members that can help you. We also have a network of event hosts that are very happy to, you know, if they want to chat to somebody who's done it before, we can always put them in touch with an event host who's done it, so they can put that person's fears at ease. You know, that's always helpful to talk to somebody who's lived through it once, twice, 3 times, maybe even 6 times, Kelsey. You probably have some who've done it every year in your region. So yeah, we want to make it as easy as possible and give as much support as we can. So yeah.
And I've sat in on a couple of the webinars for the ambassadors. You guys have been helpful. I know, Carrie, I've emailed you some questions and you responded to me quickly and helped me with some of the mistakes I've made. Surprise, surprise. You know, clicking the wrong button or filling the wrong checkbox on the sign-up sheets. But yeah, you guys have been great, and the webinars to help the ambassadors have been fantastic. Very informative, timely. It's, you know, we go through, and if I can only get the PACT, keep the PACT meetings running as smoothly as I'm steering the ship a little bit. That's my goal.
Should we talk about ambassadors then a little bit?
Sure.
Yeah, that might be a good time. So that's one of my main focus. FOSI? What's the right? Is it FOSI this year? Multiple focuses. So we actually have 2 types of ambassadors. We have youth, so think high school age kids. And then we've got parent, teacher, or caregiver. So any adult over 18 who would be interested in helping spread the word. So the goal of the ambassadors is to actually attend 2 events, so of their choosing, typically in their region of the state, but we do have sometimes somebody is in another part of the state and they'll attend an event there. But it's really to talk about it and share the experience and get people excited about it. A lot of the ambassadors in their own right have people in their communities who know them and who turn to them to see, you know, what are they up to? What's the latest with education things? What are some cool experiences? So, you know, we utilize them to help share out the word. And so this year we have almost 300. So every year we keep adding more ambassadors. So we've got, that's a mix of youth and a mix of parent-teacher ambassadors. And then if you're a youth ambassador, the wonderful thing is you'll actually get hands-on coaching through SLB Radio Productions, which is the youth ambassador managing partner, and they're out in Pittsburgh. So the kids will actually get some hands-on experience to put in their career portfolio, which is really awesome. So they have to do either an audio clip or a video, and they've got a couple other commitments they have to do, but they get that training. So it's really neat to see that happen. And then on the parent-teacher side, they just have to pick 2 events to attend, and do, a share out to their network before they attend the event, and then one either during the event while it's taking place or after the event. And so we have a lot of ambassadors returning this year, probably about 60% coming back, and then we've got new. So we're always building. So every year, get ready. Applications typically open end of December, and then we review the applications and usually make the list, confirm ambassadors around early March. And then we've got a couple months to get them ready, prepare them, and send them on their way. And Kelsey, I know you're also very involved with ambassadors just because you're a regional lead, you're covering everything. So I don't know if there's anything you want to add.
I love my champions of the work and our ambassadors, our youth ambassadors. I try to get them to come out for proclamation presentations, to connect them with some of our local legislators. And it's always great to see them at the events too. So it's just such a win for everyone.
And it's good because, the kids know how to do the audio and video. Coming from the classroom, the kids are always playing around with stuff, but they don't always know how to do it appropriately or in an educational setting. So the training you guys are giving them, the experience you're giving them, that's a great digital footprint for them to build out, and take the skills that they have and put them in, like I said, an appropriate and, positive fashion, kind of direct them in the right way. But I know talking at the Ed Camp SRU, and the couple of the pre-service teachers were, at least one of them is a ambassador. And when she goes home to eastern part of the state or central part of the state, she's going to report out and do the events back there. So, it is nice. And there's all over the place. I know I'm like a tweener between Northwest and Southwest. And there's a lot of events going on around here. And even, some of the other areas, North Central, and that they're growing in the number of events. As the years go on, there's more and more events that are popping up throughout the state.
Yeah, and I have to give a shout out. The Philly area has really come in like full charge this year. So that's really thanks to some of our partners in that area too, helping spread the word. So yeah, I'm excited as it gets more built out on the eastern part of the state. That's really cool to see. But yeah, Philly this year as well has just has added a lot of events and a lot of ambassadors this year. So that's cool.
That is awesome.
Philly, that's by you, isn't it, Eric? Or at least by your cheering section, because you're also like by Miami for certain cheering.
They're bringing Remake and the hockey puck in the goal right now. Okay, all right, we got it. Philly's got it. Just a hop, skip, and a jump away. All right. Don't derail the conversation, Dom. This is
Sorry,
really
I couldn't resist. I've been sitting on that one for a while.
I know. Easy, Crosby. All right. You got the master list. What do we got next? Hit it.
So we've been talking about the events, and we've been talking. I kind of showed the website. I'll let you guys, because I just gave it a little, very shallow overview. If you two would like to, I'll pull the website up, and you two can direct me as to where to go with it. In fact, I'll drop off the stage, and you guys can kind of tell me.
All right, I'm going to tell you to hit Find Events up at the top there. Yep. So this is the event calendar for the whole entire festival, global view. But what I love is on the left-hand side there, you can filter it down to what you're really interested in looking for. There are some virtual events, so it doesn't matter where you are in the world, as long as you have an internet connection, if you wanted to hop in and check out a virtual event, that those are available to you and that you can I won't ask you to do that, Dom, but I just wanted to highlight that the different type of events there where virtual can be checked, and then that can filter those virtual events. If you are living in a specific area, you can either go by state or by region, but you can also search your zip code and choose how far you're willing to travel for an event. So if you scrolled up just a touch above that filter there at the very top, you could start typing in your home city and state. And then if you want something within 10 miles, 25 miles, or so on, you should be able to search and the map will show up and then the events will show down below. I'm not sure if this is just my region or not, Carrie, you might know. We send home flyers. All of our schools, our elementary schools in the region, get a county-wide flyer showcasing the events that are happening right, near them. But we always try to navigate people to this website for, if someone's on the call right now and wants to post an event, your event's not going to make the flyer, but your event will show up here in this filter here. So tons of events, 800 across the state, even more if you consider that across the country and the global ones as well.
That's amazing.
While we're on the website, I also might have you just scroll back up to the top. We've got to click in a couple clicks because this website serves all Remake Learning Days, so international and national. So ambassadors are only a Pennsylvania thing at the moment. But if you wouldn't mind going to find your region at the top and click that little caret. And can you go to the learning across part? Actually, I might just have you type in the URL because it's going to be easier. Instead of /events, can you just put /ambassadors? So it's remakelearningdays.org//ambassadors. Yep, and it's ambassadors with an S. So this is actually all of our parent teacher and our youth ambassadors. So the cool thing is each one of them gets a little web page. And if you click into any of those, like grab Nicole Ayers, actually. She's sort of at the top there in the orange shirt because I know she's a parent teacher. Yeah, any one of the parent teacher ambassadors. Yep. Her name is sort of covered up there, but that's Lynette. So here's the two events that Lynette's actually attending. So the neat thing is if there's an ambassador and signed up for an event, it's linked on the website. And if you click any of the events that she's attending, it actually shows that she's the ambassador for those events too. So as the ambassadors start to post social media, posts about the events they're attending, they'll actually gather on this page as well. So the neat thing is if people are not sure about an event or they want to learn more about it, if there's an ambassador attending, you can also check out the ambassador page and see what they've said about it, or what they know or what they're excited about attending it for. So it's just kind of another way to link it all together. And you can really see the education connection as you go through all of the ambassadors. They really are an integral part of the community, and they're really about connecting people to educational experiences. And I also I love seeing that. Click a student too, just to see, give a flavor. So yeah, you could either go to youth or do all. So any of those students is great. Right, so Ava B, so she gets her own page. And then if you scroll down, I think, yep, these are the couple events that she's going to attend to. So I think it's also really interesting to see why the students are doing this, a little bit of bio about themselves, what's sparking their interest. So I just love that it kind of captures that, kind of high school age up through adulthood. And so we've really got passionate people in the community. So I just also want to thank everyone who's been an ambassador. That's really important.
Good stuff. I like that.
Yeah,
that's a great website. A lot of good information.
And there's the submit an event for people who are still interested. That actually will be open pretty much through the last 2 weeks of May. So I think probably by mid-May it might close. But, you know, if you've got an event still coming up and you want to submit it, that's ready. So don't be shy. So you can actually manage your event submission right online here. And somebody reviews it. They can help you if you have any questions as well. So I'll just make a shout out of that.
Awesome. All right. Brought you back on the stage, Dom. Yeah, good stuff. Hey, good job following directions, Dom. You did a really good job there. All right.
I've been working on my following directions.
Yeah. Nailed it.
Yeah, it's just, you know, there's so many things going on. It's really neat to see. And you get to watch the kids get involved in things, both as the youth ambassadors, and some of the events, like I said, the makerspace, the kids were actually the instructors there showing the adults. There were a lot of community members when I was at Beaver, showing them how to use the different equipment, 3D printers, all the different things in the maker lab, and they were explaining what they do in class. And I think they also had tech ambassadors there that help with the school, and they were explaining as people were walking through, oh, what's that room do, or what's this do, and they're explaining the different things. And it's cool whenever they get to play teacher and instruct the adults. Like they're the people that know what's going on, and they get to explain to people. And sometimes they have to put it in simpler terms for others, but they get a kick out of that. And watching the Elwood event, the younger kids, it was elementary, upper elementary, and some younger kids and some older kids that were helping out. Some of the high school kids came and helped out the staff there, watching them interact and collaborate. But there's just a feeling of collaboration throughout all the Remake Learning Day events, from the staff helping the people hosting the events and within the events themselves.
All right. Well, we're hitting at that 50-minute mark. I think we need to hit at least one of the two amazing questions that we always ask our guests, even though Kelsey and you guys have already answered them before. Let's see if they've come up with anything new. So let's hit them with them, Dom. Okay.
The first question: what is your educational superpower? I'll let whoever wants to start can start.
I think we need to jump with Kelsey, because one superpower she doesn't have is the ability to keep the library lights on past public time. So come off. I think you're on mute by accident, Kelsey. But yeah, if you want to come off and tell us your superpower.
Oh, goodness. Connecting others, connecting them to causes bigger than ourselves. That's where I'm going. Yeah. My superpower. Why I'm involved in PAECT, actually. I was a 7th grade English teacher. Felt like I was kind of teaching on an island in rural Pennsylvania. Didn't know PAECT existed until I started my position at the IU, and thought, wow, I could have used that, but I'm not going to gatekeep this, and I'm going to share and spread the wealth and connect others to this great network and great resources.
That's awesome. Good stuff. All right, Carrie, what says you?
Does it have to be an education superpower?
No, it could be any kind. We'll expand it, because you've answered this question before.
Yeah, and I don't remember. I remember last year the question. I don't remember what I answered, so maybe I need to go back and watch that. But so my superpower tends to be, so I call it, I'm biologically engineered for logistics. So I happen to just be really good at, if somebody has a vision, or this is what I'm looking to do, or got a theory about something, I happen to just be like, all right, here's how we could go about implementing that. I kind of see the step by step. I work through the processes. I kind of build the structure. Like that's sort of the lane that I landed in, and it fits well. And it tends to work really well in the education space, right? There's a lot of ideas. There's a lot of creativity. Kelsey's got to go. Oh, the library didn't turn the lights off on her. So yeah, that's my superpower.
That's good.
It took me a while to see that it was actually a superpower. Yeah.
That's the unique thing about it. Like some of the things, like even with that connection piece and different stuff, like you have it, you do something every day. You don't think it's a superpower till maybe somebody else kind of brings it to your attention. Be like, wow, that's kind of cool what you did there. And then you're like, you get that perspective on it, you know? So yeah, it's pretty cool.
And that's the one thing, you know, going to the different conferences that I attend. As Eric was saying, you know, there's things that we do that we take for granted, and then people come up and ask you some of the basic things about what you were talking about, because this is all new to them. And you have to keep that in mind, that there are people who don't have the experience that we have or anyone has. And there's always going to be something that's going to be new to them. So, you know, we take a lot for granted, and that's something we have to not do as educators. The people we've talked to in the past and interviewed, that's one thing they say. That's like the one bad thing about educators is we take a lot for granted and are not willing to talk about the good that we do because they don't like to brag.
Yeah.
So now, since Kelsey bolted, you are on the hot spot on the pedestal as to if you could have any superpower that exists in any science fiction, fantasy realm, or doesn't even exist yet, what would that superpower be if you could pick any or invent any?
Oh, I have two. One might be controversial in the sense of, the controversial one is I would like to be, if I could be the AI of all AI. That might be really interesting.
All right. Well,
Like,
hey, you're the
The
first
one
person to
AI
hit that
to rule
one.
them all.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah,
like
the
it.
one
I
AI
like
to
it.
rule them all. That
Uh-huh.
that would probably be
I like the
scary
Lord of the
at
Rings
the same time.
reference there.
Mm-hmm.
I figured you might
Yeah.
get it. But the superpower I would actually like is the ability to time travel in like a blink of an eye. Like whether that's into the future or into the past or just to another country quickly.
Yeah.
That's neat.
That's the one I would take.
All right. I like it.
What about you guys?
Very good.
Mine is time manipulation, where you could pause time, fast forward through time, you know, and adjust it, you know, however. So if you're on vacation, you're enjoying a good day at the beach, you could pause time and, as Jimmy Buffett would say, make that day last forever. Then, you know, if you're going through like, you know, you wake up and it's 20 degrees outside, but it's going to be 70 in a few hours. Hit fast forward to get to that 70 degrees. So you're not going to school in a heavy winter coat. And then when you come out, you're lugging, you know, wish you had shorts on. So that kind of thing. I would like that kind of power.
I like that. Can you delete time too? Like, I didn't like that section.
I didn't think of that. That's a nice little add-on. Thank you. That would be a cool.
Yeah, just don't do the Adam Sandler remote one where I paused and every time you hit moments in life like that, then automatically fast forward or goes slow. You don't want to be that. What was that, clicker or whatever? I forgot.
Yeah, click.
I would love to do fly. I would do like be able to fly, but I'm like, so I'd have to overcome my fear of heights. So I think that would be pretty fun. You know, let's try. I won't get on a roller coaster. I'm Captain Bumper Car, but flying would be interesting. So I definitely would love doing that.
That's the big philosophical question I used to throw out to my psychology classes. You know, if you could fly, would you actually have a fear of heights or a fear of falling if you could fly? Or would it be unnecessary because you could fly? Like, would you not use it? Or would you not have the fear?
Now listen, if I was flying in the realm of the great American hero, he had some rough starts and some rough landings.
Yes.
So I'm just saying, I'm going off of some.
We are showing our age besides the gray in our beards and hair.
That's it. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. You gotta watch out. Oh, so there she is. Her superpower goal was to flip the script. Amazing job. She nailed it. Very good. She did a great job. That was on her list. So we truly appreciate you being here. Truly appreciate Kelsey being here, and pushing the lights on as long as possible at the library. But truly appreciate what you guys do across the state.
Yes.
I'm trying to push to get our district and I know we have some of our IUs locally now are more involved. So I'm really hoping it trickles in and our school does some things. So I'm always trying to beat the drum and get some things going. So, but truly appreciate you guys. We loved having you at Pete and C. And it was definitely a big draw that whole day and everybody coming in, a lot of excitement. So just amazing. I just love the partnership that we have with PAECT and the Remake Learning crew. So thank you so much for all you do for, students across PA and beyond.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Anytime.
All right.
Take care,
All
Carrie.
right. All right. See ya.
See ya.
All right, man. A full show already, but I do know
Yes.
I do want to cover a quick tech tip because it's like hot off the griddle and very exciting. So
Tim Cook moving up to
yeah,
higher
ooh,
level,
saying goodbye.
bringing in someone else. Is it you stealing my thunder, or is that you're going to go on?
No, we're not going there. Not going there. No, there's too much to unpack there. All right, so let's go ahead and let's roll quickly into a tech note because we're at an hour, so this is going to be the top of the program. So let's finish off with this. Here we go. All right, so we're going to get into a quick tech tip here. So we've talked a little bit about, we got into how Google and Google Gemini and Google Slides, they had that little button, beautify, beautify me. Now I think they've kind of almost got a disclaimer because now it's like, it's got the nano banana kind of icon and says, turn this slide into an image because that's the biggest complaint we've had, right? We've taken our Google Slides and we've made an image. So tech tip number one, before you mess with any of that, duplicate your slide. Then when you're on the slide, go ahead and click it and convert it over. And just because of time, we're going to jump to the second part. So the biggest issue is when you take your slide deck and you convert it over, it's no longer editable. It becomes just an image. So what you would do is you would right click on the screen and you would say copy and you roll into some Canva here, and they've got a brand new feature. So I think I'm going to zoom it in a little bit so we can see it a little nicer. All right, but right here we got magic layers. All right, so this is this new feature in Canva where you could pull in, and it's just not even the beautify, the Google slide. It's any image that you've utilized, and maybe you're like, oh my gosh, I used this last year. I'd like to change the date. I'd like to work on it. So what I've done is I took our slides. So when I was prepping for our session here, I was in here and I'm like, okay, I want to make a remake learning in Pennsylvania kind of slide. So I used Copilot to kind of generate that. And then this is what it came up with. But I'm like, okay, but I don't need the remake learning days. That's not their logo. The PA features in the spring. It pulled it from my prompt, right? Feature, Pennsylvania feature spring-like activities and also with remake learning. So what I did is I basically, when you click it, I can go in here to edit. And when you choose edit, it opens up your side panel and there's magic layer again. So I could initially start with magic layer. I'm uploading an image or I have an image on the screen and I'm going to click on it. So again, just because of time, I already went through and did it. So I go to slide 2. Now here's the cool thing, Dom. Here's the power in this. So it made several things now editable, actually almost everything. So I can click up here and now this PA features is now editable. Now, not only that, but if I want to add in different lettering, it's using the same font, right?
Oh, nice.
Not only am I editing that font, maybe I don't like the way it says the PA, maybe I want to underscore or something, right? But it's that same font. So now the remake, the remake version here got a little wonky. So let me click here. So these letters as there are, so I want to make this whole thing look like that. So when I double click again, now I add the M into it. I'm going to stretch it out. So it's actually like not only making it editable, but it's recognizing what the font was. Now you're like, okay, the individual images, what I thought was this. So I click on the little barn here and I'll go to edit. And now what's really cool is I have that barn selected and I can go here where the style match and I can go through and say, I want to make that a doodle. And then it's going to do its magic. And now it's going to take that image and it's going to turn that into a doodle. She's taking a little bit here. And then now it's an outline doodle. Maybe I click over here. There was a little off to the side here. There's a little hot air balloon. So let me drag this over. And maybe the hot air balloon, I'm going to go in here and I want to turn it into an etching. So again, it takes a little time. But again, these were all static images that Canva's magic layers made them all editable. So now, let me get rid of that. Now when I go in, so now that image, and I can move it all around. So now instead of it being what it was, it's now a sketch. So again, every little thing, so when I click here, the flowers are editable. I could change those, right? This little vehicle here almost looks like a Lego Spike Prime, right? That's all. Okay. And actually, if you could tell right here, I did go in earlier And I actually clicked on that, the little boy there, and I made him a pixel art. So what's really cool is, again, now eventually Google's going to come out with their version of it, right? But right now, the biggest complaint we have is when I'm going in and I'm using the AI features in Google Slide and I'm doing beautify it and I'm changing it up. One, I'm losing access. So always make a copy. And I do think now Google did improve one thing, that when I click on it and I tell it to turn it into an image and give it a style, it actually puts the image over top and you can replace it or you can move it to a new slide. But then download that image or just copy and paste it into Canva and use the edit feature in Magic Layer. So it's one that I've been telling a lot of people. I know a lot of our people in curriculum have done some things, and then they were all a little bummed that not only were they not able to edit it, but they're actually losing their work that they had. So
Yeah.
wanted to share that as today's tech tip. So definitely really. All right.
Excellent.
So got that in under less than 5 minutes, and I didn't even tie my hands behind my back. So an awesome show. A lot of great things going on.
Yeah.
All over the place. Just embrace and enjoy it. We're in PA. And a lot of good stuff. So I can't wait to see you guys on episode 102 of the PACT Pod. So PACT.
We are the voice of EdTech.
In Pennsylvania.
And
beyond. All right. So thank you all for being here live. Let's go ahead and thank our sponsors.
take care, everybody. PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors. Our Tier 3 sponsors, EduSpire, Tech the Next Step. Our Tier 2 sponsors, ClassLink, more time learning, less time logging in. Teachers First. SAM Labs, engaging and effective K-8 STEM and STEAM educational solutions. Lego Education. Toddle, teacher built, AI first, more than an LMS. Once again, PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors for the support that allow us to do what we do. Thank you.